When Stephen A. Smith speaks, you know he's not dabbling in half-truths. The outspoken commentator has just set the WNBA world ablaze with revelations he says turn the Britney Griner conversation on its head. Before we get to those alleged DNA findings, let's rewind to the whispers that have followed Griner for years.
Respectfully, Britney Griner was in a Russian prison. You would think that somebody who is now free, back in America on home soil, would not have too much to complain about.
He's a man. He will do some things to you. Yeah, before you could think about grabbing him, there's things he could do. So let's be careful about stuff like that. But people laughed about it and they shrugged it off, not recognizing the fact that you had individuals within the transgender community. Britney Griner made news. And Britney Griner made news the other day because why? She was simply traveling through an airport for a Phoenix Mercury game. She was traveling through an airport. I believe that was in Dallas, Texas, although I'm not sure. I believe it was. And a person described as a YouTube provocateur named Alex Stein, and it was at the Dallas airport, I was correct, on Saturday, is seen shouting in a video that she hates America.
The bruising elbows, heated outbursts on court, and the fiery social media rants that sometimes cross the line. Once Stephan aired everything out, the pieces started snapping together for a lot of fans, and the picture isn't flattering. So what exactly did he reveal? On a recent episode of the Valuetainment podcast, Stephan and the panel accused Griner of being overly aggressive, ungrateful, and possibly unworthy of the superstar status she enjoys. Then came the bombshell. Documents he claims detail shock-inducing DNA results. Social media exploded. Why has the WNBA been so quiet? That's the question now echoing around fan forums. Over the past month, especially after her run-ins with rising phenom Caitlin Clark, Griner's critics have been louder than ever. But Stephen A.'s latest salvo has given those critics new ammunition, and has everyone wondering, is Britney really who we thought she was? The league's silence only fuels speculation.
When it comes to Caitlin Clark, now I've taken hits because I was calling it from day one. You got people that are resentful towards her, but it's really not about her, guys. It's about what she represents.
Until someone produces hard proof, we're left with rumors and a widening rift between supporters and skeptics. Whether these claims hold water or not, one thing is certain. The conversation around Britney Griner and the WNBA as a whole has shifted dramatically, and it's not likely to settle down anytime soon. How could Stephen A. even lay his hands on this stuff? According to multiple reports, Britney Griner underwent a battery of medical exams while locked up in Russia, including, allegedly, DNA analysis the public never saw. Remember, Griner landed in a Moscow jail after airport security found 2 vape cartridges with hash oil in her bag. She claimed they wound up there by accident, but it didn't matter. And after months in custody, she was sentenced on August 4th to 9 years in a penal colony. Not long after, an image started ripping through social media. A screen grab that looked like a CNN segment showing Griner behind cell bars on the left and anchor Linda Kincaid mid-sentence on the right, with a ticker reading, DNA test ordered by officials to determine male or female prison. That single photo, posted August 6th, racked up nearly 200 shares in under a week and ignited a fresh rumor mill. No one could prove its authenticity, yet speculation snowballed. Those same whispers claim the prison-ordered DNA test revealed biological markers that might explain Griner's freakish edge on the court, the ferocious elbows, the almost too easy rebounds, and the way opponents limp off while she walks away unscathed. Basketball is physical, sure, but with Griner, fans argue, the punishment always seems to flow one way, rekindling the old debate over why men's and women's sports are separated at all. Strength endurance, recovery time, biology draws the lines, and when one athlete consistently looks superpowered, questions follow. Internet sleuths dredged up every odd clip they could find. The poolside Instagram video, in which Griner apparently bared her chest, stayed online even though similar uploads usually get yanked for policy violations, a double standard that only deepens suspicions. Enter Stephen A. Smith. On Patrick Bet-David's Valuetainment podcast, the ESPN firebrand claimed he'd reviewed documents about Griner's background and decided the public deserved to hear what was in them, calling her overly aggressive, ungrateful, and suggesting the league might be shielding uncomfortable truths leaving the audience floored. When he circled back to her Russian imprisonment, the tension spiked. Smith sounded as though he had more to spill, but was biting his tongue. After all, Griner wasn't just any inmate. She was swapped for Victor Bout, the Merchant of Death, in one of the most controversial prisoner exchanges in recent memory. That's where we sit now. A swirl of unverified documents, a viral CNN screenshot of questionable authenticity, and a commentator who insists he's seen enough to raise serious doubts, while the WNBA's silence only amplifies the buzz. Real evidence or rumor, one thing is beyond dispute. The discussion around Britney Griner and fairness in women's sports just went nuclear, and it's not cooling off anytime soon. The blockbuster prisoner swap that brought Britney Griner home didn't just raise eyebrows, it practically launched them into orbit, because any deal that trades a women's basketball star for Victor Bout, the infamous Merchant of Death, convicted of plotting to arm militants against Americans, screams that something else is simmering beneath the surface. From the moment the plane wheels touched U.S. tarmac, speculation swirled. Was this really about justice? Or was it a lightning-fast way to hide paperwork officials never wanted the public to see? Stephen A. Smith seized on that very question, arguing that Griner's sudden freedom felt less like a moral stand and more like a hush-hush effort to seal away her full medical dossier, the unfiltered version that might have jeopardized her WNBA eligibility if Russian authorities, or anyone else, had time to leak its contents. Smith's logic is ruthless but simple. If you're liberated at the price of an international arms trafficker, you'd expect endless gratitude, an unbreakable smile, non-stop thank yous. Instead, he contends, Griner has sounded prickly, defensive, even dismissive, an attitude he calls profoundly disturbing given the geopolitical ransom paid on her behalf. He then zeroed in on a viral line, ripped from a satirical meme, that painted WNBA crowds as annoying noisemakers who ruin the once serene vibe of empty arenas. The quote was fake, yet Smith insisted it echoed a real frustration fans detect whenever elite players treat growing attendance like a burden instead of a blessing. To him, that meme, joke or not, is a slap at loyal ticket buyers and a gut punch to teammates who grind through every practice to build the very league that now supports her. Complicating matters, a fresh courtside clip showed Griner talking to friends in her naturally deep register, and an older pool video resurfaced in which she laughs, shirtless, dunking a mini basketball, all of which reignited years-old debates about her voice, her body type, and her gender identity. Internet pundits dusted off the same tired talking points. If her tone is that low, if her chest is that flat, could she really be competing on equal footing with other women? Griner herself has answered these questions countless times, reminding interviewers in a 2015 ESPN feature, in her 2024 memoir Coming Home, and in multiple television sit-downs that she was born female, that her broader rib cage and longer vocal cords naturally produce a richer timbre, that she grew up bullied for height, flat chest, and boyish voice, and that medical specialists have repeatedly called her physiology well within the spectrum of normal biology for tall women. Still, the rumors never die. Stephen A. poured gasoline on the fire when he told Patrick Bet-David's Valuetainment audience he's reviewed documents that could prove a flagrant violation of a core WNBA eligibility rule. Documents he hinted the league has known about for years, but buried to avoid a public relations catastrophe. Since that bombshell, Griner's every move is parsed for cracks. Her on-court dust-up with Caitlin Clark, where lip readers claim she muttered a racial slur, her post-game glare at referees, her visible impatience in interviews. Critics insist these are signs she's buckling under pressure. Supporters call them normal athlete frustrations, amplified by non-stop scrutiny. Meanwhile, conspiracy theorists ask why, if Russian prison doctors supposedly uncovered explosive details with routine tests, U.S. basketball officials never conducted or never publicized their own deep dive. Are they incompetent, overly trusting, or complicit in a woke cover-up that prioritizes optics over fairness? No governing body has verified Smith's documents, but his megaphone makes the story impossible to ignore, and social feeds are ablaze. Some users pledge to boycott games. Others demand Griner be barred from women-only locker rooms. A few want Smith fired for gender smearing, yet many cheer him on for saying what everyone's thinking. In the end, nothing concrete has changed, no official evidence released, no policy rewritten, yet the debate over Britney Griner's legitimacy and the integrity of women's sports has detonated with nuclear force, leaving fans, journalists, and league execs locked in a high-stakes standoff where every rumor, meme, and leaked snippet feels like one more spark in a powder keg that refuses to stop burning.